Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sue Choi. I'm delighted to be your MC for this evening. Welcome to the 2018 8th Pak Kyongni Prize Awards Ceremony. It's an honor to have you all here today, especially because it is very cold outside. Thank you all for attending this year's Pak Kyongni Prize Awards Ceremony. The Pak Kyongni Prize is Korea's first international literary award, instated in 2011. This is to honor the literary spirit and achievements made by the late novelist, Pak Kyongni. Presented by the Toji Cultural Foundation with the support of Gangwon Province and the city of Wonju, which we're in right now. Past recipients in chronological order have been South Korean author In-Hoon, and Ludmila Ulitskaya of Russia, Marilynne Robinson of the US, Bernhard Schlink of Germany, Amos Oz of Israel, Ngũgĩ wa Thiong'o of Kenya, and Antonia Susan Byatt of the UK. And of course, the winner of this year's award is none other than Mr. Richard Ford. Many prominent figures from literary and cultural fields have expressed their congratulations. Many are here today. Many have sent flowers outside as well. A Russian ambassador to Korea, Andrei Kulik, and wife Marina Suanova are also here with us this evening. And thank you all for being here with us this evening. We would love to introduce every single one of you right now, but due to time constraints, we will leave that for the reception later on, after the awards ceremony. Well, without further ado, let's get the awards ceremony started with some music. This evening's congratulatory performances can be described as a modern interpretation of Korean traditional music. On the daegum and the guitar is Lee Jin-young, and for drums and vocals we have Jang Hyuna. The first piece is called daegum Shinawi. And what is a Shinawi? Well, basically it's traditional Korean improv music. It does not have a fixed framework like sanjo, and its roots can be found in a variety of different types of songs, ranging from religious shamanic music to Korean musical storytelling, also known as pansori. Well, today's Shinawi will be played on this traditional Korean bamboo flute, as it were, and this is called the daegum. They say the beauty of traditional Korean music are these long pauses that make you hold your breath and wait to see if they've actually finished or if there's going to be another note coming. But that, of course, is the beauty of Korean traditional music, deep-rooted in the history of Korea as well. As you know very well, Korea has had a very turbulent history, and that is reflected in many of its traditional music. These songs, tunes, and pieces are often reflections of sentiments of longing, sorrow, and perseverance. Well, this next song is also a bit about perseverance and longing. And this next piece is this duo's reinterpretation of a Korean folk song called 몽금포 타령. And the song is about longing for one's loved one. The modern twist here is that there's an instrument you would never have seen in traditional Korean music, the guitar, and this arrangement has been added to the original. The song is called I Will Be Seeing My Love.
항상
I'd now like to introduce this year's panel of judges. This is the 2018 Pak Kyongni Prize Selection Committee we're looking at. Chairman Kim Woo-chang and committee members Kwon Ki-dae, Kim Sung-gon, Kim Seung-ok, Lee Se-gi, and Chae Yoon. Professor Emeritus Kim Sung-gon of Seoul National University, who was also one of the panels, was unable to join us today because he is on his way to receive an award himself, the Spanish Literary Award over in Europe. Judges, if you could stand up for a moment, let's give our panel of judges a big hand for their hard work this year. The chairman of the Pak Kyongni Prize Committee, Mr. Lee Yeol-ryong, was supposed to have given the welcome speech today, but he is unable to attend due to health reasons. His speech, nonetheless, can be found in the booklet. Our next welcome speech will be made by Ms. Kim Young-ju, Chairperson of the Touji Cultural Foundation. Please welcome her with a big hand.
훌륭한 작가 리차드 포드 작가와 또 우리나라의 문학에 다 훌륭하게 종사하고 계신 많은 여러분들을 모시고 이 자리에서 인사 말씀을 드리게 돼서 대단히 영광으로 생각합니다. 사실은 1년 동안 이 세계 문학상을 박경희 문학상을 준비하느라고 무수히 많은 분들의 땀과 노력과 노고와 많은 힘들이 여기에 다 쏟아부어져 왔습니다. 이 자리를 빌어 그 모든 분들께 또 감사의 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 이 어려운 일들을 우리가 진행함에 있어서 다시 한번 많은 생각들이 오갔는데 결국은 우리가 어떤 우리 생애에 있어서의 온갖 일들 가운데서도 우리 마음속 깊이 서로 소통하는 그리고 깊이 있는 성찰 이런 것들이 얼마나 우리한테 많은 마음의 위안과 치유를 주는지 그런 것을 이번 기회에 많이 생각하게 되었습니다. 우리가 우리 리차드 포드 작가를 비롯해서 우리나라의 많은 훌륭한 작가들을 가까이 두고 우리가 만날 수 있다는 것은 정말 큰 행운이라고 생각합니다. 그 많은 작가들은 또 예술가들은 우리가 알 수 없는 그런 예정되지 않은 많은 길들을 예시해주고 또 우리가 살아가는 동안에 헤매게 되는 그런 여정에서 빛과 어떤 이정표가 되어준 그런 분들입니다. 언제나 이렇게 우리한테 괴로움이 닥쳐오고 어려운 일이 있을 때마다 이런 작가들의 세계들은 우리한테 많은 위안을 주고 어떤 길의 제시도 해주고 그랬습니다. 제가 수상 작가들 또 후보 작가들은 대개 작품들을 다 읽어봅니다. 제가 심사는 안 하지만 그런데 늘 어떤 새로운 많은 생각들을 하게 했는데 특히 이번에 리차드 포드 작가에 대해서는 또 다른 생각을 갖게 되었습니다. 작품 속에 등장하는 인물들은 지극히 평범한 미국의 일상 살아가는 아주 흔히 볼 수 있는 그런 사람들의 이야기인데 그런데도 불구하고 이상하게도 우리의 마음속 깊이 생각하고 파고들게 하는 그런 세계를 서술하고 있다는 것이 너무나 이상했습니다. 그리고 이상하게도 전혀 다른 세계에 살고 있음에도 불구하고 우리 작가들의 어떤 서사성 그리고 미국 작가들의 서사성이 어떤 공통적인 흐름이 있다 하는 것에 대해서 매우 놀랐습니다. 올해 수상 작가로 리차드 포드 작가님을 모시게 돼서 너무 행복합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much. That was Ms. Kim Young-ju, Chairperson of the Toji Cultural Foundation. Now for today's congratulatory addresses. First up, Gangwon Province Governor Choi was unable to attend today due to an urgent matter at the local government. So in his place, please give a big hand to the Director of the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau at Gangwon Province. It's Director Yoon Sung-bo.
반갑습니다. 안녕하십니까. 강원도 문화관광체육국장 윤성보입니다. 오세월을 물든 산과 들이 아름다운 가을날 제8회 박경리 문학상 시상식이 열리게 된 것을 매우 뜻깊게 생각하며 온 도민과 함께 축하드립니다. 한국 현대문학사에 빛나는 유산을 남긴 박경리 선생의 문학적 업적과 정신을 기르는 오늘 시상식을 위해 애써주신 토지 문화재단의 김영주 이사장님을 비롯한 박경리 문학상 위원회 관계자 여러분께 깊은 존경과 감사를 드립니다. 심사를 위해 애정으로 열과 성을 다해 주신 김우창 심사위원장님과 여러 심사위원님께도 감사 인사를 드립니다. 축하를 위해 자리를 함께해 주신 원창묵 원주 시장님과 안드레이 쿨릭 러시아 대사관님, 김사인 한국문학번역원장님, 김순덕 동아일보 논설주간님, 또 김지아 시인님을 비롯한 내빈 여러분께도 감사의 말씀을 전합니다. 특히 세계 각국의 쟁쟁한 후보들 가운데 수상의 영예를 안으신 미국의 리처드 포드 작가님께 진심으로 축하의 박수를 보내며 두 네 분의 강원도 방문을 진심으로 환영합니다. 올해로 제8회째를 맞는 박경리 문학상은 대한민국 최초의 세계 작가상으로서 대한민국과 강원도의 문화적 위상을 전 세계에 높이며 그 명성과 가치가 해를 거듭할수록 높아지고 있습니다. 오늘 이 자리가 인간의 존엄과 숭고한 생명사상을 기저로 민족의 순환사와 시대의 아픔을 문학으로 승화시킨 박경리 선생의 작가정신을 계승발전시키고 한국 문학을 견인하는 구심축으로서 사랑과 평화, 정의를 향한 인류의 염원을 이루는데 이바지하는 계기가 되기를 바랍니다. 리처드 폴 작가님의 박경리 문학상 수상을 다시 한번 축하드리며 뜻깊은 자리에 함께해 주신 모든 분들의 건강과 행복을 기원합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much for that congratulatory address. Next, Mayor Won Chang-muk of Wonju City will also deliver a congratulatory address.
네, 안녕하십니까. 원주 시장입니다. 인사 올리겠습니다.
Again, you can check the congratulatory address by looking at the leaflet. It's on pages 12 and 13.
네, 문학의 향기가 가득한 이 토지 문화관에서 8번째 맞는 박경리 문학상 시상식을 갖게 됨을 우리 35만 시민과 함께 진심으로 축하의 말씀을 드립니다. 특히 이번 수상자로 선정되신 우리 리처드 포드 작가님 원주 방문을 환영합니다. 축하드립니다. 오늘 우리 박경리 선생님에 대해서는 여기 계신 분들이 워낙 많이 다 아실 거라고 생각을 합니다. 우리 시의 큰 자산이고 우리 시가 유네스코 문학 창의 도시에 도전하는 것도 선생님이 계시기 때문에 가능하다고 생각을 합니다. 저는 도시 디자이너입니다. 항상 새로운 꿈을 꾸고 이 문학적 이 가치를 이 자산을 어떻게 하면 살릴까 그런 고민들을 하면서 보냅니다. 우리 김영주 이사장님께 제가 이 원주에다가 평사리를 갖다가 재현하고 싶다 이런 말씀을 드렸고 곧 그렇게 될 수 있도록 저는 최선을 다할 거라고 생각을 합니다. 저는 여러분들처럼 문학도는 아닙니다. 하지만 가치만큼은 잘 알고 있습니다. 제가 꿈꾸는 것이 현실이 될까 아닐까 기대를 많이 하실 거라고 생각이 되지만 함께 한다면 반드시 그 꿈은 현실이 된다고 저는 확신하고 있습니다. 저희 시가 추진하고 있는 사업들 중에 몇 가지가 있는데 그 중에 하나가 글로벌 테마파크인데 한옥마을을 반드시 만들고자 합니다. 한옥마을을 한 7만 평 정도 하려고 하는데 거기에도 스토리가 있어야지 많은 관광객들을 찾을 수 있고 또 그러기 위해서는 우리 토지 속에 나오는 그 병사리를 갖다가 복원하는, 재현하는 일들이 꼭 원주 시민을 위해서라도 꼭 필요한 일이라고 생각을 합니다. 만약에 글로벌 테마파크가 안 되면 어떡할까? 시장은 권한이 도시계획을 결정하고 추진할 수 있는, 실행할 수 있는 권한은 시장한테 있습니다. 국회의원이나 도지사한테 있는 것이 아니죠. 필요하면 그 문화관광지라든지 유원지로 지정을 해서 부분적으로 만들어 나가서 다음 시장이 완성하는 방법도 있을 거라고 생각을 합니다. 제가 이렇게 말씀드리는 것은 함께 꿈꾸자는 것입니다. 우리 이 자리에는 뭐 예지에서 오신 분들이, 저명하신 분들이 많이 오셔서 그럴지 모르지만 저랑 함께하는 우리 공직에 있던 분들이나 시민들은 제가 얘기하면 어느 정도 믿습니다. 처음에는 잘 안 믿었는데 내가 뭘 하겠다 그러면 거의 다 됐기 때문에 맞아, 원창미가 한다면 그렇게 믿고 있고 그 믿음이 현실될 거라고 생각을 합니다. 다시 한번 리처드 포드 원주 방문을 환영하면서 박경희 문학상 다시 한번 진심으로 축하드립니다. 고맙습니다.
Mayor Won Chang-muk of Wonju City delivered his congratulatory address, and not quite to script, so I'm going to try and translate briefly what was mentioned. The dream of Wonju City as Wonju mayor is to create a replica of the village that was in the novel that spanned decades and decades. This place, of course, is the basis of the novel, but the village itself was made up. And the dream is to create a replica and to make that part of a global park. And as Mayor Won said, when I dream of something, I make sure it becomes a reality. And I said, because I am the city mayor, and this is the city of Wonju we're looking at. It is down to me to get things done, and I promise I will do my best. So that was the message conveyed. Of course, in terms of dreaming, the mayor also mentioned that when you dream, you can make things come true. And I guess it all ties in to many aspects of perhaps writing as well as doing politics as well. Well, thank you very much, Mayor Won, for your congratulatory address. Now, I have with me another special congratulatory message, which is not in the program. It was sent to us by the US Ambassador to Korea, Harry Harris, and I will read this message for you now, along with the Korean translation. On the occasion of this award, I'd like to congratulate Richard Ford on his selection as the recipient of the 2018 Pak Kyongni Prize, and I applaud the selection committee on their choice. This is a distinct honor for both of our countries, as the recognition of Mr. Ford's contributions to American literature by this esteemed body testifies to the strong cultural ties between the people of the United States and the people of the Republic of Korea. In both our countries, the challenges that face the average citizen are both compelling and important. It is no surprise, therefore, that Mr. Ford's work to articulate these struggles and capture the plight of the everyman has resonated with the Korean people. I commend Mr. Ford's efforts to recognize our shared humanity and thank the community for their acknowledgement of those efforts. Sincerely, Harry Harris, U.S. Ambassador to Korea. Next up, we'll hear a commentary message from the head of the 2018 Selection Committee for the Pak Kyongni Prize, Chairman Kim Woo-chang. Let's give him a big round of applause.
네, 심사 경위에 대해서는 이 인쇄물에 잘 나와 있습니다. 작년 10월부터 시작해가지고 이 심사위원회 참석하신 분들이 여러 차례 모여서 결정 결과가 포드 선생을 심사 대상으로 선정하게 했습니다. 처음에 우리가 여러 차례 모였지만 자료를 준비하는 데는 여기 사무국에서도 여러 가지 일을 많이 하셨습니다. 거기에 대해서 감사를 드립니다. 그럼 이 심사 경위, 심사 소감에 대해서는 길게 쓰여 있기 때문에 그것은 그만두고 축하하는 뜻에서 이 심사 소감에 나와 있는 마지막 부분의 한 문단을 읽는 것으로 심사 소감을 대신하겠습니다. 포드 선생의 소설이 보여주는 것은 오늘의 삶이 벗어나지 못하는 여러 크고 작은 불행한 사건에도 불구하고 보통의 삶을 그대로 받아들이면서 인간다움을 잃지 않는 삶의 길입니다. 큰 서사는 흔히 영웅적인 삶을 통하여 삶의 깊은 의미를 보여주려고 합니다. 포드 선생은 보통 사람의 보통의 삶, 고통과 비극을 멀리할 수 없는 보통의 삶, 그 속에서 찾을 수 있는 성실한 삶의 가능성을 찾아내는 작가라고 할 수 있겠습니다. 이것이 우리 심사위원 모두 분들에게 큰 감동을 주고 이것이 심사 대상으로 또 수상자로 포드 선생을 선정하게 한 이유라고 생각합니다. 그리고 이 심사위원들의 노력 또 박경리상 위원회의 여러분들의 노력에 대해서도 감사드립니다.
And that was the commentary message by the selection committee chairman, Kim Woo-chang, of the 2018 Pak Kyongni Prize. You may check the message in the pamphlet, but in short, the entire selection committee was very moved by the way of writing and the characters within the books written by Mr. Ford, and it was in many ways an easy decision to select this year's recipient. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to present this year's Pak Kyongni Prize. Graphic designer An Sang-soo, also known as the godfather of Korean typography, is behind the creation of today's award. Chairman Kim Woo-chang will present this award. Please give a big round of applause to the recipient of this year's Pak Kyongni Prize, Mr. Richard Ford. The 2018 Pak Kyongni Prize. This award is presented to Richard Ford. The above author is awarded with this prize for taking the path of a dignified author, abiding by the true values of literature and refusing to compromise or settle for the mundane in producing an international literary work of high literary and universal value. Presented by Pak Kyongni Prize Committee Chairperson Lee Yeoryong, October 27th, 2018. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. Please give a big round of applause. We will now present congratulatory flowers. And to do this job, we have two very special guests. Very shortly, they'll be walking in. I can actually see them behind. We have on the stage right now Mr. and Mrs. Ford. The flowers have been presented by Ryu Byung-uk and Kim Min-ju of the Sandol Nature School. They're wearing the traditional Korean attire, hanbok. Very nervous they were. They practiced this a couple of times before today's actual ceremony. If you could give our children here a big round of applause as well, that would be fantastic. Not sure who's more nervous, just this year's recipient or the children right now presenting the flowers. Also presenting flowers is the publication company 문학동네, which published the Korean translation of Independence Day. You can find a printed version of Mr. Ford's acceptance remarks in both English and Korean in the ceremony booklet. Mr. Ford, the mic is yours.
Christina and I are so far beyond honored to be here today, to be part of this ongoing celebration of your great genius novelist, Pak Kyongni. Of course, I'm grateful to the jurors who have conferred this precious prize on me, although there's always a lingering sense in winning any prize that a mistake has been made somewhere. You can still change your minds if you want to. Though I have traveled a long way to be here. I come from a part of the world, Mississippi in the United States, which is famous for celebrating its writers, William Faulkner, Eudora Welty, Richard Wright, and I can tell you that what writers would most like to do and would most like our work to accomplish is to prove itself useful to its readership, to be able to have our work renew sensuous and emotional life. be able to refresh the language we all depend on, be able to imagine new intelligence and awareness, and to affirm life by making lived life be our subject, precisely as Pak Kyongni's great national chronicle, which we call Land in America, precisely as her work proved useful to a century of Korean readers and to the world. In this way, for me, the great gift of this prize is the gift of Pak Kyongni herself and her great and memorable novel, which Christina and I were privileged to read over the summer, rather lovingly and patiently, which this great generous novel rewards and requires, especially for us American readers. When I talk to young writers, I always tell them never to be envious or rivalrous of others' great work, but to put great work to use by feeling encouraged that such writing exists at all and that we have it to read. Great writing elevates us by its excellence. It never leaves us feeling resentful. Excellence is not a relative value, it is an absolute. The American poet Randall Jarrell wrote once about excellent writing. He wrote, "When a poem or a story or a novel is good, this is what good is." By that he meant that excellent work reinvents good, resaturates the world with it. That's its use. I felt this was true of this great epic Toji. I hope I do not terribly mispronounce the title, and forgive me if I do. I'm tempted to tell you what I, as a novelist, so admired about it, but you probably already know that. Maybe that's partly why I'm here today. I've been a writer for 50 years, but I'm only a writer because I'm a reader, and a very unlikely reader at that. Apart from being lucky enough to win this precious prize, my chief reason for standing up and talking to you now is to make a specimen of myself, to demonstrate to you that human beings, rather ordinary human beings, in fact, write novels. This should both encourage us and at the same time make literature seem all the more remarkable. It is rather like a bricklayer who succeeds in becoming a visionary architect. I'll tell you a story. It's an Austrian story. I promise you I have nothing against Austria or its citizens. I just have a truthful point to make, and the truth is the truth, unless, of course, you happen to be the President of the United States. Years ago, I was invited to a rather glittering dinner at the residence of the American ambassador in Vienna. This was when President Clinton was leading our country, different from now, though not in all ways. At this dinner, I was seated across from a highly celebrated Austrian literary critic. Such a person may bring a rather specific picture into your mind, a thin, somewhat cheerless, austere man given to sarcasm. In any case, this man had read books of mine and had quite confident views about them, and at a certain point, midway through the dinner, he looked at me and said, "Mr. Ford, many of the female characters in your books are clearly just versions of your own mother." I hope critics don't think this way anymore. But to his remark, I answered, "Well, no, they are not my mother. The women in my books are products of my imagination," at which moment onto this man's lips there appeared that thin smile of sarcasm that I mentioned. He didn't know me, and he certainly didn't know my mother. But that didn't stop him from having his views, nor from saying to me that what he then said. "Well," he said with a cold smirk, "it's always disappointing to meet the author of books that one admires." I think this remark was intended to insult me or make me feel dismissed and possibly a fraud. But what I said to this man, this critic, was, "Well, of course it should be disappointing to meet me. You and I are just sitting here having chit-chat over a glass of embassy-quality wine. But when I write a novel, when anybody writes a novel, he or she's asking the most that's possible of himself. When I sit down to write, I'm doing the best I can possibly do in the world, what the novelist John Coetzee describes as calling upon my utmost powers. To paint Guernica, to dance Balanchine, to be Schubert and write Gretchen at the spinning wheel is to put oneself into the hottest crucible and to transform something daily and usual into something fantastic and entirely unexpected. What I want, I told this man, is that by virtue of an artistic gesture, to make myself smarter than I ever otherwise could be. Therefore, of course, it's a letdown to meet poor, ordinary me. Better to meet me on the page where I'm my best self, if not, in fact, better. I don't think I impressed this man, although what I told him was true. The way that the ordinary in life becomes extraordinary is one of art's great redemptive mysteries, and it really is a mystery. It's partly why we go to art at all, to be enticingly near to mystery. I said I was a writer because I've been a reader since adolescence, but I also said I was an unlikely reader and an unlikely writer. It's because I'm dyslexic. I never read a book until I was 18 or 19. I did poorly in school, never finished anything I started, got mostly bad grades, and was not headed any place very interesting. Only I loved words. Here's another mystery, equally unplumbable. I could barely read, yet I loved words. I liked writing words. I made jokes with words. I delighted in language's nuances. I liked sounding words in my mouth, changing them, playing with them. I liked homonyms and antonyms and words that meant more than one thing. I liked how words looked and how their appearance featured in their significations. You might say I liked the poetical aspects of language. But as an undiagnosed dyslexic, I found the cognitive, the denotative aspects of words, particularly words within sentences, difficult to get into my brain. This is typical of dyslexia, and experiencing these differences in learning ability made me a very slow reader and made me dejected, and it seemed to deem me unpromising and rather an unremarkable child. My teachers, thank God, didn't think I was as hopeless as I felt. They noticed this discrepancy between my poor reading skills and my affection for language, and they simply leaned on me to work harder at reading. Their words, "Richard, you must better apply yourself," are burned into my brain to this day. And also, quite fortunately, I was sick of failing. Failing shamed me. It made me miserable and angry and feel worthless. Today, when people ask me, what is my greatest inspiration, I say, without hesitation, Christina Ford, my extraordinary and wonderful wife, and a terrible fear of failure. There are worse inspirations one could have. So I did what my teachers told me. I applied myself, and what that meant was that I reconciled myself to the fact that everything I did as a reader, as a thinker, as a writer, and just as a human person was going to take me longer than it took other people. And once I did that, quit being at war with myself for being slow and thick-headed and ordinary, things improved. In particular, what started to improve was that at my slow reading pace, I found that the pleasures of language, which had beguiled me before when I wasn't reading very well, were still available to me when I was reading patiently and slowly. Today, at age 74, I read about as slowly as I did when I was 17. But back then, as now, reading slowly admits me to language's many splendors. All around what words and sentences mean is how they sound and how they look and how many syllables they have and what those syllables carry with them of rhythm and music. All those, so to say, poetical qualities of words are integral to what those words mean to us. And when we can experience it all, cognition and poetry together, the sum of intellectual and visceral pleasure is immense. There's nothing like it that I've ever found, which I suppose explains everything about me. Navigating from being a patient and responsive reader to being a writer is partly just a matter of wanting to give to others what reading gives to me, both of music and intellectual abundance. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I write the sort of sentences I like to read, sentences that reward slower pace, sentences that pay attention to rhythms and play and internal rhymes in an effort not just to portray the world, but to affirm it and please us in its dense complexity. I'm sure it's why I'm not rich, although I must say today helps that situation considerably. Speaking of miracles, however, to be here today is a miracle for Christina and for me. I'm deeply indebted to my publishers in Korea, Ngũgĩ and Munhak Dongne, and to the brave men and women who have embarked on translating my books into the Korean language. Thank you. Franz Kafka wrote that a book must be the axe for the frozen sea within us. As I look around the world, in my country, and on your beautiful peninsula here, there are many frozen seas impeding our spirit's progress and fulfillment. Books and their guiding force, the human imagination, can, we see, cross many seas and many borders and make themselves useful by displaying to us miraculously both how wonderfully distinct we are from one another and how blessedly alike. If there is a great legacy of Pak Kyongni's prophetic writing, it is to celebrate this precious truth, this precious good. To know this, as with all great and good truth, will surely save us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ford, for that. Well, that brings us to the end of the 2018 Pak Kyongni Prize Award Ceremony. 리처드 포드 작가의 박경리 문학상 수상을 축하하기 위해 토지 문화관을 찾아주신 여러분께 다시 한번 감사드립니다. 이상으로 2018년도 박경리 문학상 시상식을 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you. Following this photo session, we'll continue the celebration with a reception, and this will be on the second floor. We ask for those taking part in the photo session to please step forward at this time.